Good afternoon, my lovely people on the YouTube. It's the Budget Guitarist here, and my name's Martin. Now, you might remember the video I did a while back about my lawsuit era Les Paul. It was a Japanese-made, what did I say it was, a Walker or something or other. Anyway, sort of on the same thing, on the same theme sort of thing. Potential lawsuit, or could be the actual real deal. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've done a video because I've not had much new stuff to to talk about other than an amp here and there, but nothing quite substantial until today. So, guitar body for sale on the marketplace, listed as a Gibson Les Paul standard in gold top finish. I messaged the guy. Looking at his pictures, this guitar body seemed pretty legit, and it ticked all the boxes for me looking at, when I'm trying to figure out whether is this a real Gibson or is it a copy, or is it a lawsuit era, or what is it. So I'm gonna, he's just sent it to me now in post. Lovely guy called Fraser. I'll stick a link to his channel in the bottom of this, however you do that, so you can you check him out. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, so I sent him, once we'd had the to and fro on the old marketplace talking, we exchanged telephone numbers. He sounds like a really nice guy, so it's sort of from Manchester way. I didn't, either way I didn't want this guitar getting damaged, so I had to send him my hard case. Now, one thing that definitely struck me when I was carrying this up the stairs and picked it up from the post room was it is incredibly bottom heavy, as in the body. Obviously you can't feel that detail on a bunch of the pictures on the old YouTube. When I compare it to the weight of that one, which is like a lawsuit knockoff, it doesn't really weigh anything, whereas this thing is quite heavy on the body end. But still doesn't mean it's the real deal. Just means it's been made out of some heavy wood. Should be letting us in now. Let's have a look, see. Well, one thing's great to see, the headstock's not snapped clean off, because that was my worry when yeah, that was the worry when, and the case was a little bit too big as well for this guitar. So this is the case for my Gretsch. But he's packed it pretty decent, which is cool. It wasn't rattling. Alright, let's get this out and have a proper look at it. Well, that's just the address thing. Right, so is it a real gold top Les Paul, or is it a fake? So everybody's got their own list of things they go through and they check off to try, rather than going to pay an expert for a definitive yes or no. Everyone's kind of got their own little list of checks that they like to do. So I just want to share with you my one. So I always start at the headstock with the and I pay attention to the actual Gibson logo. A common tell on a fake one is that you see the dot at the top of the eye. It's normally a different colour from the rest of the font, but the eye seems okay. And also the gap between the O. Now I don't know what the actual spec is for Gibson Les Paul, but it's not too big and it's not too small either. And also when you look at the font, see the edge of the Gibson wants to be straight, and that looks straight to me. This next bit there is, I don't know, it just looks faded. Coming down under the truss, well, the truss rod cover, so on a real Gibson you would see 2 screw holes, one there. It's only held on with 2. It's normally the what do you call them, the copies that have got 2 there, 1 there. And also this big brass nut in here, so you don't adjust the truss rod on a Les Paul with an Allen key. It's an actual little like spanner. I guess the position of the dot inlays, I can see that I mean they are in the centre, but each one's got this little dark thing, like it's had a little bit of filler, as in whoever cut the inlays. Oh, I don't know actually. I mean they're smooth, they seem to be seated in there fine. That's what I look at on the neck and the thing. Moving on to the body then, Jesus. First thing, this thing is heavy. This is a solid bodied guitar, which the Gibson Les Pauls are, and they're also finished in nitrocellulose. Now, I don't know if I can get it on the camera, but if you have a look at this thing, it's got checking all over it, and it looks pretty cool. Can almost sort of feel it as I run my fingernail across it this way. I have to go very, very close to try see what I mean. But you can see it all in there. It looks pretty cool. So I don't know. So Gibsons I know are finished nitrocellulose, and this appears to be a nitrocellulose finish. Inside where the pickups would normally live, obviously it's been painted with the what do you call it? The electric tape, the electric paint thing. But if we'll have a look underneath, I can see the actual gold flake paint under there. Now, if I was knocking off Gibson Les Paul, I probably wouldn't bother to paint inside here. I'd just leave it bare wood. There's that thing as well. Next one is these here that what the saddles go on. So on 99.9% of all fake ones, you're going to see the screw with the screwdriver head in it, whereas this is not. Let's stand it up. See, when we look at here, see the position where the tailpiece would be. On most fakes and knockoffs, it's further down here. Now, because these have been pushed in slightly higher than this pot here, when you put the bridge on, this will, when you put the bridge on, this will sit higher than that pot, which is a little sort of telltale that it potentially could be the real deal, because a lot of the knockoffs, they're sat further down, and they're like that on mine. So you see the position, the bridge there is further down than this pot here. There we go, it's a classic fakery. Whereas this one, it's actually sat quite high. In terms of hardware, there's no hardware except from some pots in it that are stamped, made in Japan. Of course, legitimate Gibson Les Paul pots were stamped Les Paul pots, but they are the big, they look like the 500k pots, big chunky ones, and the 3-way switch, which is, this is the only hardware that's on the guitar. Get that through there. There's another little tell you can do with the switch, is, oh, it keeps dropping through. Go on, get in there. So we see the height of this of the threaded end here. I think memory serves, on a real Gibson Les Paul, there's not a lot of thread, so it sits like this, and the washer that holds it in place actually goes inside. It's like a sleeve with the thread on the inside, which obviously gets around the switch. But the pots and switches could have been swapped out by whoever owned this at whatever point. But yeah, either way, it's a beast. It looks like one piece. Is it one piece of wood that I can't decide? No, I think that's actually 2 pieces of wood. So not solid body. And up the neck, there's also that really nice checking going on as well, all the way up the neck. It's pretty cool. Then up the top, where the serial number is, you've got, apparently the serial number checks out as a 1996 gold top Les Paul. And oh, you can actually see as well where it's on the head, it's 3 pieces of wood to do the head bit, which is a Gibson thing. But I don't know whether, but what I'm looking at finding is they have a 2-piece neck where this is separate from the rest of it, and you'll see the scarf joint. This hasn't got one, so I don't know. There's a hell of a lot about this guitar that checks out, but there's also some little grey areas that don't. So if you could be so kind as to have a look and stick some stuff in the comments. You know, I'm not an expert at figuring out whether these things are legit, but either way, I definitely like the look of it, and it just needs some hardware, and I'm pretty sure it's going to absolute pelt like a Les Paul, if it's not a real Les Paul. Anyway, thanks for watching, Trips. Catch you in a bit.